I think this is the most important thing we should try to teach young generation, and this creates, as an outgrow, we get interpersonal tolerance, respect, mutual understanding. These are not just words, and this all together leading to peace, which is the #1 problem today. So achieving internal and external peace.
What you're saying right now, how critical it is for any person to achieve any sort of peace or happiness internally.
Yes.
You have to look within inside of yourself and always acknowledge what was my part. Because they say it's always a two-way street, right? If there is a conflict, there's always two sides to a conflict, right? And if you are capable of looking inside yourself and saying, what was my part in it? I think that's a tremendous achievement. And I remember, and I'm then going to go to Marie, a lot of people tell me, why are you so tolerant? You know, people always ask me, how come you're so tolerant? You have so much patience. And you know, people who like harm me or they do something not nice to me or they don't treat me well. For some reason, I think maybe subconsciously, I don't know, it's not, I'm just now thinking, like you're saying these words, I'm thinking to myself, wow, I do this, but without even thinking about it. I always said to myself, maybe there is a problem about this person, I don't even know. Maybe this person is miserable. Maybe this person is lashing out at me. There's something else is happening you don't know, right? You don't know their personal issues. And I always tried subconsciously. I never did this consciously until now that you're telling me these things. I'm like, wow, I'm doing this without even knowing about it. I always say to myself, forgive the other person and just don't let any negative feelings stay inside you. And I think one other thing I'm going to include is always try to find my part. What was my part in it? Because it's never one way. It's
and
always
how to improve.
And how to improve, right? But I think one other suggestion that we would like to suggest is just forgive people. And just if you're angry at situations or people or whatever, you're gonna suffer from it. They may even forget what they told you. They may have said something terrible to you and it hurt your feelings really badly and they moved on and they went on, moving to living their life, and it stays with you and you're torturing yourself and you're not harming anyone other than yourself. You're harming yourself. So I think one thing that, a lot of people ask me, the first thing they always ask me, tell me your secret, how come you're so happy? That's one thing I hear a lot.
Anna John, excuse me, this is what makes you to be a strong personality. Because strong people always forgive. Strong people always give another chance. Strong people apologize first. It's a sign of weakness when you're trying to be defensive all the time. It's not my fault, it's not me. So we cannot blame the people if they are not strong enough, but they can still work on themselves. Like you see, Marie at her very, very young, beautiful age, she has already, got that wisdom. She's got too much knowledge, too much experience. I can say it even without knowing her very well that she knows much more than many women of her, twice age.
Yes. And
So,
the confidence. What I feel like the confidence coming from her that, she's like a go-getter. And I just want to copy her 1,000 times over. If we can teach our young generation, and I think our academy should really be concentrating. I love working with women. Of course, we love, look, I have 2 boys and a daughter, right? I mean, but I really feel like women need the help more than anyone else, like you said. If we can help our younger generation to just give them the chance to fulfill their potential. We all have potential. And that's another thing, a lot of parents, not just Armenian parents, they have their own agendas. They want their kid to be a doctor or a lawyer or this and that. And if the kid, doesn't fit into their agenda, then they're not praising them enough, right? They're not cheering them enough.
By the way, I was suggesting, Marie, before we're starting the conversation, we should do more intercultural exchange, youth leadership programs. So that young ladies go outside and the other country, the other nations come to Armenia, they communicate, which actually happened before thanks to European Union programs. A lot of exchange
Maybe
programs.
we can start that program. Why can't we start that
That
program?
would be very helpful, but training them as leaders at the same time trying to keep there as family keepers, not to forget our
Women's
family
leadership group.
values.
I have a name already. Women's leadership program.
Yeah.
In fact, I would like to fill in on the comments that you guys gave, that nowadays in most countries in the tech industry, it's mostly dominated by males. But in Armenia, it's the contrary. Mostly, like I think around more than 40%, it's women.
Information
that work.
technology.
Yes, it's women that work in the IT sector, and
That's
they
so
hold very
wonderful
strong
too.
positions. So I think this is also important. It's important to look at statistics as well when it comes to this. Another thing that I wanted, there were so many things that I wanted to say.
Please.
The first point that Christina made was also very important. I can't remember at this point what it was, but I think that
Do you look inside and then you find your own part in it? I think that's what you.
No, maybe leadership,
the
not
very
in terms
first
of
thing you
aggression.
said, the very first thing you said was very important. But to go back, I think that it's basically what I want to say is that it's very important for parents not only to cheer but to support, because sometimes when we cheer, when we over cheer, the person afterwards, and I remember what you said, the person afterwards looks for the same cheering in the society, and that's not healthy. And that's why what you said, Christina John, was that women, they don't love themselves as much. And this is not only a women's issue. I think this is important. It's important to also, it's very important to remember that at the end of the day, men go to the same problems as we do. So the same self-confidence issues and other issues. So here, when it comes to the self-love, why do many women say that I want to love and I want to be loved in return? This is something everybody wants. Men want that, women want that, everybody wants love at the end of the day. And I think that most of them look for it elsewhere because of childhood also. They look for validation. They want to be validated by other people, and that way of validation, as so to speak, you are worthy of something, is to say somebody loves you. For example, in Bulgaria or in other countries, including Armenia, in my opinion, people get married or people get in relationships not because they really want to be with this person, but because they don't want to be alone. And also, why do they not want to be alone? I think it's because society programmed people to believe that if you are alone, then you're not worthy of love. Somebody doesn't love you, then you are not worthy as a person. So very important for them it is to have friends, to have a family, to have children. That means you are a good individual and you've succeeded something in your life. However, slowly by slowly, these things are changing, and I think that the number one thing is very important to read psychology books. And this is something I tell everybody. It's very important to read psychology books, and not just to read them and just forget about them, but analyze them and analyze yourself as you're reading. Something else I'd say that's very controversial, especially for Armenia, I think it's very important to go to a psychologist, even if you think you don't have issues. It's very important to go to a professional person who is very well aware.
It's not controversial in the US.
It's not controversial.
90% of the people in the US have a therapist.
I would suggest to have
so
your personal
important.
coach instead of going
Yes.
to a psychologist, because
That's a good
psychologists,
idea.
I hate to say that. I hate to say that. With my great respect to all psychologists, sometimes they're trying to, exaggerate the problem, and they're making a big problem out of a very, very little thing, which can be perfectly
Actually, they are
solved.
trained.
Personal.
Psychologists are trained not to tell you what to do. They listen. They don't even tell you what to do. They don't
Versus
give you
good
coaches,
professional
they are
is
asking, stating
important.
questions, and trying you to realize your problem.
I think that's a great idea, and
Psychologists do
I
that.
think
They're
especially
supposed to do that.
Yes,
They're
personal
not telling you what
coaches
problems
are
you
the greatest assets and the most demanding.
And I have another idea. How about if we train people to become coaches?
Well, we can do thousands of things. It depends on what exactly do we want.
Why don't we ask our audience?
Yes.
Guys, let's ask the audience, and we'll do a poll. But we just want to know. We have tremendous resources here, and this is just tip of the iceberg, right? We have resources from UK, France, Germany, US, all over from the world. Norway. We have people who are here to
Even horse therapists,
exactly
which is coming soon.
business coaches, life coaches, every resource that you can imagine we have available. So I'm asking you what it is that you would want to learn, what it is that you think you need, because we have a lot of different tools. And write in the comments, please, what it is that you would like, what topics you would like to hear about. Going back to tools, all these resources are different tools that we have as part of Get Skills Institute. But just because we have tools doesn't mean we have to use them. We need to know what it is that you want to learn. And that's why I'm here, because again, as an Armenian woman who was born here, who had an opportunity to go and get educated elsewhere and gain a lot of experience, I think it's for us as women very, very important to transfer that knowledge, that experience, that information to our next generation.
Yes, that's how society, humanity grows, right? It's every human's duty to give back to society.
Which brings up another point. I truly believe in order for us to change any society, including Armenian society, we have to also train men. Because we can work with women and, and help them become leaders. But what I see, unfortunately, which is so painful for me, tearfully painful. I can't even tell you how painful it is. How many situations I see when men think they're better than women.
Yeah.
Men think they're smarter than women. It's like, you cannot generalize. Not all men are smarter than all women, and not all women are, like, there's a combination of everything, so it's all mostly individualized.
Yeah.
But what I see is that pains me, you have no idea how much, that men always think that, they always think the worst, they always come from a negative situation, they don't trust each other, number one, they don't trust each other's intentions, and unfortunately, I don't know why, I guess out of thousands of years, before when I read a lot of research, apparently women were they had more strength and more rights, like when they were nomads, like 1,000 years ago than now, for some reason, and I don't know why. Physiologically, men think they have certain privileges than women. Physiologically speaking, you know what I'm talking about, but that means nothing. Let's not differentiate between men and women. Let's work as a society, because even if we work with women, but then men have a completely different agenda or identity or mentality, it's not going to work. So that's all I have to say. Maybe you guys can say a couple of words in conclusion.
I just want to thank for this wonderful opportunity. I just wanted to tell everybody that happiness starts inside you. Let's appreciate what we have and let's ask for more and more blessings. Let's stay healthy, and don't forget to write in the comments what are the most interesting topics you would like to raise us and you would like us to discuss. Thank you very much and hope to see you soon again.
Yes. And I also want to thank my lovely colleagues for the very important things that they said today, and for you guys for watching and listening to us. And last but not least, I'd like to say that for me the most important thing is self-knowledge. I think it's very important that you spend a good amount of your time on learning about yourself, because when you know yourself, you know other people, and you know the better way to find happiness and fulfillment in life. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. See you soon.